Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Empire Jeff TV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Tuesday night from Los Angeles, California, man. Hope everyone's doing well. Didn't get a chance to pop in yesterday. I know I'm a day late on this. Just had a lot going on, man. I'm a busy bee. I be busy, man. Just got a lot going on. So wanted to make sure I could carve out some time for you guys tonight. Tried to go live like 2 or 3 times yesterday. Just did not line up. So I do apologize for that. But definitely want to speak on the events of yesterday, some events that led up to that, and potentially what's next in this drawn-out Los Angeles Lakers coaching search. And, of course, unless you've been living under a massive rock, then you know that Uconn, 2-time NCAA champion head coach Dan Hurley rejected the Lakers' 6-year, $70 million offer, according to reports. That being the offer. And the offer felt a little light for what was kind of leaked and reported. So that's, take that with a grain of salt. A lot of times these reports come out or, things change, or depending on who you're speaking to and what side of the conversation, it's really hard to really get a feel on this. That's why I think it was like last Thursday or Friday, I was telling people I felt 50-50 was probably the best chance, because the day before I was like 90% sure it was going to be JJ. So when all that news broke about Hurley, I was like, I can't go from 90% JJ to 90% Hurley. Like I can't jump, because they just hit us with a rope-a-dope out of nowhere, and I don't really know what's going on. And I was trying to track down as much information as I could get. I don't have anyone inside the Laker organization. I don't have anyone on payroll I can reach out to. I've got to reach out to people that either cover the team, or is kind of unofficially is connected to someone on the team, so I have to wait on them to get information from me to hope to be able to get a portion of information they'd even be willing to give me, right? But up until that point, I had heard absolutely nothing about Hurley. So that came out of nowhere. So when I was kind of getting back with people, I'm like, yo, what? You didn't even hint at that. They're like, yo, we didn't know. So the fact that this was so buttoned up so tightly, even up to the point, when they came and left, to the point where people are saying, people are floating out conspiracy theories, doubting that he ever came to LA, which I think is a little wild, a little too much of a stretch there. But there's disappointment here, for the simple fact that, I was coming around, and you guys know this. I did a couple shows on this. I was coming around to the thought of JJ, because I felt that he was legitimately the only candidate with some legitimate home run potential, maybe a massive strikeout potential. But I felt like he was the only one of the candidates who had home run potential. I had talked myself kind of into that. And then here came Hurley. And all of a sudden, we have another home run candidate, and a much bigger home run candidate, and a guy that I would take as the Lakers head coach 10 times out of 10 over JJ Redick. So in my mind, I'm sitting back and I'm like, man, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm hoping for. And I'm going to be like, man, now I'm going to be upset if this doesn't happen and we circle back to JJ. Because now I just kind of convinced myself that JJ might be the best chance at a home run hire, and wrap my mind around that. And then here came this Hurley thing. And I was like, man, don't get too excited about it. I knew in my heart of hearts, I was thinking 50-50. And then I was like, but it's 50-50 in my mind. But in my mind, I'm like, it's 100% going to be disappointment if we have to go back to one of these other candidates. And that's where we are now. And that's the frustrating part. Now, we're going to touch on a couple of things. Shout out to everyone in the building. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all in here, man. Jay Lloyd, what's going on, man? Raw, I see you. Appreciate you. Court King Chris, my brother, Chris, the graphic god. Appreciate you, man. Julian Pratt, what's going on? Salute to you. Let's see. We got James Caldwell, the member here. Appreciate you, brother. Say what's going on, Jeff. What's up, Laker family? Appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to everyone who subscribed to the channel as well. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and drop a like on the video. We're going to touch on a lot of stuff tonight, so I appreciate y'all. Craig, what's going on, man? Let me go to rip through and post everyone else's stuff. I typically do that. Sorry about that. But appreciate y'all, pulling up, tuning in. Craig, what's going on? I'm gonna get to all of them. Just give me some time here, guys. But so when we're sitting here and we're talking about the money, right? And it had leaked that it was going to be potentially 8 years, $100 million, right? Was going to be the shout out to the Dodgers, man. They just drive out another one. Oh man, it's 10-0 Dodgers right now. Shout out to the Dodgers spanking the world champion Texas Rangers behind in LA right now. But so when I was coming out, 8 years, 100 mil, and depending on who you heard it from, there was enough people that said it. Now I don't know, this game goes. If people were piggybacking on other people's reports, if it was one person floated it out there and a bunch of people ran with it, I don't know. Because if you look at this whole scenario, it's been a couple of people mentioning JJ. Everyone was running with that. Then this Hurly came out of nowhere from one source, being Woj, the gold standard, right? The top of our league. And everyone's kind of thrown off by there and kind of just ducked down. Everyone's kind of like doubled down and defending their sources and defending their stance on it. And I applaud them for that because I'm dead serious. Like I'm not an insider. I am no way, shape, or form an insider. But those that are had the intel. They all had that same intel, right? So it literally came out of nowhere. And I've talked to a couple of these guys, and they're just like, yo, like no one knew this. No one knew this whatsoever. So when you get into that, right? So this information is all over the place. It was a very small circle of people who were privy to this. Very, very small. And the reason why, you got to get back a little bit here. You got to think back to the people connected in this situation. And here's the thing. A lot of people say that that no one has any sources within the Lakers, and none of these newsbreakers have anyone within the Lakers. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. That's not true. The difference is the leaks don't come out of the Lakers. So there's a difference here. So look, Woj is very close with Pelinka. He's good with Pelinka. He was Kobe's guy. Woj was Kobe's guy, and Kobe was Woj's guy. Like they were. Kobe was one of the reasons that Woj rose to the top when he was back in the day, first barely with Yahoo, when he was first coming up in ESPN the first time. Woj was Kobe's guy and vice versa, as was Pelinka. The difference here is that when they have conversations, there seems to be a mutual agreement of when things can be reported and when they can't. So, but to sit here and say that the Lakers, that no one has sources within the Lakers, that's untrue. Now, while there are sources there, intel tends to come out less. There's a reason for that, okay? Secondly, is Woj is extremely close with the Hurley family. With Dan Hurley, his father, his brother. Every time Woj is on camera in his home office, if you look over his right shoulder, there's a book on the wall there that he wrote called The Miracle at St. Anthony, which is basically breaking down the story of a New Jersey high school basketball coach, which is Dan Hurley's father. Okay. So he is very, very tied in and glued into this family to the point where I heard that the two sides were reaching out to Woj initially, like to kind of broker this in a way. Right now, Pelinka knows the Hurley family as well, but Jeannie doesn't. So there was just a lot of that. The reason why it stayed so quiet was because literally the only guy who has a relationship with the two parties was Woj. And that's how that all came together. That's why it didn't leak out. And if you look back to every time that every insider or every reporter or anybody, remember I always tell you guys, if you take all the reports and you put it on a whiteboard, it's a puzzle. Eventually that puzzle comes together. I'm always telling you guys that. Part of that puzzle, did they just hit another one? Oh my God, Teoscar with another one. Holy, Dodgers 11-1. They just gone home run crazy. Teoscar that's a 2-run home run, so that's 12-0. Sorry, guys. But if you go back and you start putting this all together, you will notice 12-1. Excuse me. You will notice that every time an insider or a report came out, that anytime Woj could get on TV and push back on it and say that the Lakers are very, very, very early in this process and they have not identified, basically pushing back on the JJ report without saying how he knows that. And now we know why. Now we know why he was pushing back on it so much. Now we know why he was bringing all that up. Now we know why Woj was taking that stance, because he was kind of pushing back without being able to give you evidence as to why. And I've been like, I will never be anywhere in the same airspace as Woj, right? But even at times when I had some intel on something and I've like kind of pushed back on it and said I can't say why, it's kind of a similar situation. So he knew, right? But couldn't speak on it. until the sides gave him permission to. So just be mindful of that. Woj has a relationship with Pelinka. Woj has a very good relationship with Dan Hurley and the Hurley family. And that's why it went through Woj. It's why Shams and none of these guys had no knowledge on this whatsoever. And it's crazy how that path went. And the money, let's back to the money now. So when Woj was out there pointing it out, there's going to be a substantial offer. He was talking about, a huge offer coming from the Lakers. That all they have his attention. All the attention is on the Lakers for Dan Hurley right now. And the Lakers come out, and you get these, and then these reporters come out, and you hear everyone talking about 8 years, 100 mil. So what that does is that sets you up to be upset if you hear an offer less than that, especially if it's significantly less than that. So when the reports came, when the report dropped that he's turned them down, and it was a 6-year, $70 million deal, there was a lot of people upset because they were expecting that triple digit, that $100 million offer. Now, I don't know if that offer was even ever considered. I don't know where that report came from. I have no idea, but that's a pretty significant gap from 100 to 70. Now maybe someone heard of the amount per year and figured what it would take about to get that to 100 million in a year range and said 8. Maybe people started coming up with their own number in totality versus how much annually, because that's easy to do, right? So I don't know exactly where that portion came from. All I do know is it seems like the masses were expecting somewhere around an 8-year, $100 million deal. So when a 6-year, $70 million deal came out, which to my knowledge is still the longest contract the Lakers have ever offered a candidate. To my knowledge, they've only offered as much as 5 years to anyone. They offered him 6 years and $70 million, also the biggest number that they've ever offered to anyone. And having said that, the highest year term they've offered anyone and the highest amount they've ever offered anyone. Even with that, when that dropped, it felt like that's it. It felt like that's it. So I don't know if it's because we all kept hearing that 100 million, and then when we heard the 70, it just immediately went from hearing that the Lakers were going to offer 100 million, making them look good, to the point where even if he turns it down, hey, they tried, they went for it. Good job, Lakers. Great job. To wait, only 6 years, 70. That's all you offered. You're trying to get a home run hire. You're trying to get a culture changer, a 2-time NCAA champion who you feel can translate to the NBA, and you offer him less than the Detroit Pistons paid Monty Williams? Like, this all just goes to your head. This is what I'm telling you. This is how the head, oh my God, did they just crack another one? Oh, holy, that went to the bar. Hey, Jason Hayward 2-run home run. What is going on here? Sorry. One team in LA has got their act together. But what I'm saying is it just immediately takes your brain to that. It immediately takes your brain to that. So I understand why people are upset. I understand why people felt like that's it. Because I did and do too. I do. I understand that $70 million is a lot of money. I understand that 6 years commitment to a head coach is big time for the Lakers. I understand all of that. I truly, truly do. But I also understand that it felt like it wasn't enough. It just felt like it wasn't enough. Let's go back. Let's go back again. We already know that he turned down roughly $12 million a year from Kentucky. We already know that. You already know that. Now, he's hinted in the past he wants to come to the NBA. You had all of his attention. Now, there is some, hey, you don't want to convince a guy to go somewhere he doesn't want to go just for the money. You want him to be excited, involved. You want him to want it. You don't want to have to convince him or beg him or make him come strictly for the money. There was a lot of reports out there that Steve Nash didn't really want to go coach the Brooklyn Nets. Didn't really want to go become a head coach yet. But they made the offer so big to him that he couldn't pass up on it. But maybe his heart was never in it. Right. So maybe there's a layer of that. Let's just say there is from a standpoint, right? But the problem is that information was out there. Not only was the information out there that the Lakers were meeting with him, that they had his attention, that he was flying out here, all of that. If it didn't leak and if it wasn't out there, and we found out after the fact that they met with them, but they still ended up with like someone like JJ after it was done, then you're in a different position. But this thing leaked, a number leaked. People were starting to feel like he was coming. Like all of these things just led to what was going to be a crash landing if they did not land him. And that's exactly what it ended up being, because it feels like the $100 million probably would have maybe got it done, but then it also feels like it would have been maybe convincing a guy who wasn't 100% willing to come. So it's just a tough situation. The problem is once he said no and it was 70 versus 100. If he says no to 100, I'm telling you, everyone is all over TV, all in print, all over every channel. Everyone's big up in the Lakers for their efforts. Everybody. But the second that it was no, and we found out that number, it put the Lakers in a bad spot. And I'm not even mad at Hurley. Like, I'm not mad at Hurley. I don't even disagree with what he did. That's hard to turn down. You have a chance to be only the second person in college basketball history, and you join John Wooden as being the only college coach ever to win 3 straight national championships. Now, there's no guarantee he will get it, but that's like an NBA head coach leaving after back-to-back championships when you got a chance at a three-peat. So while I do believe that there's a chance he still ends up in the NBA, and heck, maybe he even ends up with the Lakers some point. But I understand, I get it. I get it why it was going to be hard for him to leave. I understand that. There's that connection. That's, you already know, you know what that situation is. You're already far into that program's technically next season. You've got a lot going on there. You had guys who came back and didn't go into the draft because they want to go for 3 in a row. It could be a bad look for you to pull out on that. You had guys who came back because of that, I don't know, unfinished business, right? Came back for that. So if you tap out on that, then it's like, okay, they came back. They put their futures on hold. They put their bag on hold. So, I mean, these are things you have to really consider. So I'm not mad at Hurley. I'm not mad at the Lakers for chasing him. I am a little, I wish the offer was bigger from the standpoint of the PR perspective, because the Lakers are taking a beating right now, an absolute beating right now. So I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that the offer was higher. So if it was declined, then the Lakers would be sitting here in a better place right now. And another coach would be like, man, they almost got that guy. Like I got a chance to, it's a little different now. Now they're kind of hat in hand a little bit. And that's what always tends to happen with this team of late, hat in hand. They botched the Ty Lue thing. They even botched Monty Williams, who they lucked out not getting. And getting Vogel actually worked out. But then, they never want to spend top dollar or go long-term on a head coach. And in this scenario, they were willing to. Like I said, the 6 years, the longest the Lakers have ever offered a contract to a head coach. On $70 million is the biggest number they've ever offered. So it does sound crazy to say, well, it wasn't enough, but it just wasn't. It wasn't. And we've seen this before when they get into trade talks and things are leaking and things are picking up, and you find out what was offered, or you find out what the other team was asking, and it's like you get these reports, you get your hopes up. Which I don't typically do that anymore, because, like I said, I can typically read through it, and even with this one, I was still 50-50. But man, I was hoping for this. I was definitely hoping for this, even though I viewed it as a Hail Mary. Even though it came out of nowhere and it took a good couple hours to process, like, is this real? And then, just didn't pan out, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in again, man. Jay Lloyd says, why people are saying Lakers are cheap. They offered him $70 million and he was going to be the 6th highest paid in the league. He's a great college coach, but you can see, but you just can't drop $100 million. That's overpay. No, I understand everyone's point of view on this. I 100% do. I understand people thinking they should have offered more. I understand the portion that they offered $60 million. $70 million, which was $20 million more than what he got at UConn. I understand that side of the coin. But if you're getting a guy to come to LA, you have to offset some taxes. He has to move to a whole side of the country he's never lived or his family's lived in. He's privy to, like, he's got East Coast bias. He wants to live out there. His wife wants to live out there. So it's like I said, you're going to have to overpay to get a candidate like that. You're going to have to overpay. Now, 6th highest paid coach in the NBA is nothing to sneeze at. All those other guys got chips. That's nothing to sneeze at whatsoever. But this job is not easy. No NBA head coaching job is easy, let alone coaching the Los Angeles Lakers. You got LeBron James, you got Anthony Davis, all the things that come along with that. This job was not going to be easy. This team has basically just been recycling and running through coaches since Phil Jackson. It's become an unsecure seat in the industry. So you were going to have to, like, really make this guy comfortable. You'd have to make it to, like, okay, even if we hire him, there's no way we can let him go in 2 to 3 years because of the bag we're giving him. So there's that side of it, but I totally understand where you're coming from, Jay Lloyd. What's going on, Craig? Appreciate you, man. Salute Vegas Dev. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being a member, brother. Thank you so much. HC Picks. What's going on, brother? I ain't gonna lie. Celtics in 4. Well, we're gonna talk about that. KP's potentially hurt. Who knows how long he's out? Kyrie's probably gonna wake up and actually join the series in Game 3. We'll see. I still believe that the Mavs can make this series potentially competitive. Like, we'll see what it looks like when they get home. What's going on, Roy? Appreciate you, man. Otani's still struggling. Hey, it's baseball. That's going to happen. He'll be all right. He'll definitely be all right. Mr. Laidback 808. What's going on, man? He said, sorry, Dan played the Lakers to get leverage to get more money from UConn. Well, here's the thing. That money that he got from UConn was on the table before he turned down the Lakers. That money's the same. So far, there's been no increase in that money. So from that narrative of getting more money from UConn, that extension of that number was already on the table before he even met with the Lakers. Now, if it turns out later that he comes back and he gets $70 million what the Lakers offered, then maybe that's a leg to stand on. But that was one of my first thoughts when this whole thing was going down. And maybe that's what he's doing. But come to find out that offer that he's staying with at UConn was the same offer he had prior to meeting with the Lakers. So as of right now, that is currently a false narrative, but we'll see. We'll see. That's kind of open-ended. LA for life. What's going on, man? Man, it's Adelman or Sam. Those are Adelman's probably the safest. I don't know how far his elevator goes. I don't know how the potential of that is. Cassell, you know what? That's an unknown. We know he's been a valued assistant, but we don't know what he'd be as a head coach either. Satro, what's going on, sir? What's going on? Hope you're having a good one, man. Appreciate you. He'll be all right, though, Craig. He'll be all right. Let's see. Blaine, what's going on, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate your time, man. Lakers should have offered Hurly $100+ million and called his bluff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you offer it $100 million, I highly doubt he turns it down. And like I said, that you guys heard kind of me going off kind of the last stream saying Lakers need a culture changer. They need that guy to set that foundation. They need a guy who could come in here and develop young talent with this new CBA and not have to rely just on a very top-heavy roster. When you have low cost, above low impact players, so if you got low cost and an average impact or slightly, you hit on one of these guys, and a coach like that, it wasn't just him, man. Being able to bring Luke Murray with him, who was elite at player development, Bill Murray's son of all things, being able to bring those guys in would have just completely turned it around from a young player perspective and the guys that you're going to look to develop. That was very, very encouraging, man. Festo, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Festo says, Jeannie, gotta go. A lot of people are saying that, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying about this coming out, with it being leaked to kind of put out there that it was going to be 8 years, $100 million. It ended up only being 6 years, $70 million. You knew that the Lakers were going to catch heat for that because people were expecting $100 million. People were expecting $100 million. That basically meant 90 was the floor for a lot of people, I would say. I think if they heard the Lakers offered 90, I think they would have been okay with it. I think a lot of people would have been okay with it. If he turned it down and they offered 90, I think they would have been okay with it. But because everyone was hearing 100, and they heard 70, a lot of people were taken aback by that. And as a result of that, it put the Lakers in a really bad spot. because I don't know who leaked that 100 mil. I don't know where that came from, but the fact that it was 30 million off, and that is that's a big deal. And a lot of people were saying and breaking down, putting in this math and saying that if you took the 8 years, 100 mil, if you looked at the total per year, it's the same as what he would have gotten 6. I understand that. But that's one side of the coin. 100 million, 70 million is not 100 million, no matter how you cut it. And the thing with me is, I was thinking along the lines of, the offer that it would have took would have been 7 years, 100 mil. You're getting in that 14 million, that Ty Lue range. I was thinking 7 years, 100 mil, which was more annually. The 8 year, when I heard that, kind of threw me a bit initially. But everyone was looking at that number, just that one number of 100. But I was thinking 7 years, 100 mil. And that's 14 million a season. And you're married to that relationship at that point on both sides. And that's what I was hoping the deal would be somewhat around. Maybe there's a team option in there. You're offering him 100 mil. And if he thrives and he becomes what the potential is reached, then they're going to have no problem picking up that option and even extending on top of it, right? But somewhere along the lines of 7 year, 14 million, I think made more sense when you're trying to get a powerhouse coach like that to come to you, considering what that job has looked like and what that job has produced. And I know that's a lot of money for a guy who's never coached in the NBA. I know it's a lot of money for the Lakers to pay a head coach. But like I said, man, we need that culture changer. We need that guy. And he might have been that guy. He might have been. And clearly, 6 years, $70 million just wasn't going to get it done. It's my humble opinion. It's just my humble opinion. If on Friday, when the Hurley family met with Pelinka and Jeannie, just my belief, if they offer 7 years, 100 million, he flies back to tell Uconn he's coming. He signs the deal. If I'm offering him 7 years, 100 mil, I need a signature before you leave, or that deal's off the table. I don't let him go back to Connecticut. You want to go see Billy Joel? You want to go celebrate at MSG? Then you sign and you go celebrate becoming head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, making 100 million over 7 years. But the second he left without a commitment, it was done. It was done, in my opinion. So from that standpoint, 7 years, 100 mil, I think gets it done. Maybe that 8 year, 100 mil gets it done. 6 years, 70 mil. He's probably figuring he can make up that money on another deal potentially with Uconn at some point and go for the third chip in a row, man. Let's no holds barred. Salute, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, man. He said Freddie Homer. Yeah, that was just a home run derby out there for a minute, man. Fo, what's going on, man? We got to rebuild, clean house, the front office that will fulfill my peace of mind right now. Yeah, the front office is catching the heat right now, man. And another reason I wanted that is let's say you got a layer of control. Let's say that they gave him a level of control there, and at least he became like a partner with Pelinka, and they were going to be like on the same page. He had some say, and Pelinka could do his same day to day, but maybe he had to check in with Hurley before get up with Jeannie and recommend that deal. In the end, Jeannie's going to be the one who decides it. But like you guys know, I've been talking for a while that I felt the Lakers needed that face of the basketball ops side, not the money side, not the Laker brand and all that, but the face of the basketball ops side. There needs to be a new person in there. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that I know for a fact that Hurley was going to be that guy. But we've seen it. We've seen that path before. We've seen Brad Stevens come into the league and be a solid head coach, not a great one, struggled a little bit come playoff time. But now he has turned into a top tier executive, man. He's incredible over there in Boston. So like we've seen it fucking happen. He's complete. Now that's a culture changer. That's a culture changer, what they got over there. We're looking to hit on that. We are looking to hit on that. And we're going to have to spend big and swing for the fences in order to get that done. I'm trying to catch up to these chats here, guys. Julian says the whole front office got to go. That's what a lot of people are saying. What's going on, Alex? Appreciate you tuning in. Roy says, in my opinion, Woj helped out the Hurleys and used the Lakers. If Hurley wanted the job, they would have come to an agreement. If he was happy at UConn, why bother? Well, like I said, man, I think if the offer was bigger, I think the Lakers had to make him an offer he couldn't refuse, and I think they gave him an offer he could refuse. To be honest, LA for Life says extend this dude. You talk about Teoscar, they can't extend him. They can't extend him. They're just gonna have to wait till the offseason, and they will, as long as he keeps this up, he doesn't fall off. If he doesn't delo us, then I think there's a good chance that they keep him long term, man. I think both parties are interested in that. Anthony Irwin or what said that then Fanta too. I don't know what you're talking about there. Said Raptors reports started up $200 million for 8 years, and it started with Fanta. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's not just, it wasn't just Fanta. That was kind of known. That was kind of making its way within inner circles. So that was not just him. I don't know who was first. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But that was kind of swirling around. And I talked to a couple people that day that had that number. Also a lot of people that for the day before who had no idea that it was even real or that was happening. So like I said, that information, like I said, it could be tough, man. There's stuff flying and swirling around, and that happened. When you think about it, it kind of happened and ended rather quickly. We kind of got word about it on a Thursday, updated on Sunday that the news would come on Monday. A lot of people at that point started to form their own opinion one way or another, and it kind of just came together like it was just a few days, man. Tony, what's going on, man? Appreciate you, man. If Hurley, Uconn. That's funny, man. There's a few people, Craig. There's a few people. What's going on, Blue Magic? Salute to you. Appreciate you, bro. Do the Lakers front office even know what they are doing? Man, I hope so. But I don't know. They've done enough to make us think they don't. They've done things at times to show that they're capable, but they're just not able to sustain. Like, we've seen good moves. We've seen great moves. And then we've seen terrible moves. And we've seen average moves. We don't know. Like, it just seems like every time they do something good, they do 5 things bad. And it's hard to see if it's sustainable. And right now, it just hasn't been. It just hasn't. Roy says 6 years, 70 mil for a first-time head coach is reasonable, in my opinion. I hear you, and I see that side too. Like I said, I tried to really sit at both sides of the table here and see both people's perspective here. It would be in a vacuum, but this situation was not a vacuum. It just wasn't. It was not a vacuum. And if I knew that number initially, if they were like, okay, the offer is going to be 60 or 70 million, I would have known immediately he wasn't coming. But thinking that 100 mil, there was hope in that. Yeah, but team in LA has a $4 billion owner. Yeah, it's not us. It's not us. Next target, Jay Wrong. You talk about Jay, right? You said Genie's broke. Man, yeah, my guy Eric Pincus, man. Shout out to EP. He did an article on that, breaking out a lot of that today. And I think he covers some good points about how the Lakers are not necessarily cheap when it comes to players. But you guys have heard me say this on since I started my channel. You guys have heard me talk about how small the front office is, how small the scouting department is, how small their resources are from a front office and organizational perspective. They'll go out and they'll spend money to go get a Russell Westbrook of $47 million in addition to AD and Braun. They'll spend that. They will do those things. But at the end of the day, they will pay luxury tax. They will do these things. But when it comes down to paying for a quality head coach, paying for a quality staff, paying for scouts who go on the road and actually scout other teams or overseas or enhance medical departments or like basically a professional team within the organization, adding more pros in there. That's where the Lakers fall short. And while Genie is not broke by any state of the word, like compared to I mean, Jeannie is not broke, but she just doesn't have the bag of these multi-billionaire owners. So maybe to them she looks broke, but she's able to cover a payroll. Like, it's just that the resources and the things you need to support that team, the Lakers don't do. FYI, what's going on, Lamont? Appreciate you tuning in, bro. I think he has more unfinished business at Uconn. Not sure if was the Lakers. Not sure if was the Lakers. It's hard to walk away from the program like that. Yeah, I agree. I understand. I understand why he did it. I do. But I also understand that if I think they offered 100, I think he comes. That's just, I don't have any intel on that. I don't have any insight on that. It's just my personal opinion. But I have no way of knowing one way or another. One thing I do know is we sitting here on 19 likes right now. So come on, y'all, man. Ron, pull up here and help me out, bro.
Acknowledge me, please.
We got over 80 people in the building on YouTube, man. So please drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already as well. Check the links out in the description. You could become a member on the channel here. It really helps out the channel. For less than the cost of lunch, you become a member for a month. We got some member-only videos, some vlogging, and some giveaways coming. So we greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the channel. Like I said, become a member. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter pulling up. I appreciate you as well, man. And also, real quick, let me get back talking a couple of things real quick. Shout out to Court Kings, man. We got to do the plug here for Court Kings. Absolutely, man. Lakers Nation, stand up, man. We got the We Not Like Us. You got Braun. You got Kobe. You got Magic on this fire shirt right here, man. ShopCourtKings.com. Get your fire merch. You see firework here by the graphic guy, Chris, man. Just absolutely kills everything he touches from a graphic standpoint. We got the Kobe and Chick Hearn here, the Showboat. I mean, the graphics on this is ridiculous as well, man. Make sure to pull up the ShopCourtKings.com to get your flyest gear, man. Flyest NBA gear. We got some Dodger stuff on there. We got some NFL stuff, man. We got a combination of stuff, man. Go up and get this work at ShopCourtKings.com. We greatly appreciate you guys, man. Let's see. LA for Life says Alderman is the best option. I think Alderman would be a good option. Like I said, I just don't know how interested he is. I don't know what any of these, I don't know where they stand with any of these people, you know what I mean? Or where they stand. Roy says, fake media was trying to relay to Lakers from Hurly to increase from 70 to 100 million. Maybe. Shan, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you tuning in, man. He said, brother, Lakers need to sell the team to new ownership. I don't disagree with that. But what they need to do and what they will do are going to be two different things. I don't believe that the Bus family is anywhere near selling the team. That would be her basically kind of feeling like she failed her father. And even though in a way it's being perceived that she is failing her father, I don't think for a second they're going to sell in the near future at all. I hear you though. What other coaches would you go for now? Man, I'm like, they kind of just let the air out of the balloon on this, man, for me. I kind of got to a point yesterday where I was like, I wasn't even trying to be analytical. I'm like, man, even he was an unknown, like Shan, even Hurley was an unknown from an NBA standpoint. Even he had strikeout potential. Like I know what it was. It wasn't like we were getting Eric Spoelstra. It wasn't like we were getting an NBA head coach with pedigree. You know what I mean? I understand that, but I was excited about this potential, man. I really was. And now that not happening, it kind of goes back to like, okay, you really have to really examine again about, the candidates, this pool of candidates that are out there. And I still think that all of those candidates, JJ has the most home run potential, star potential over these other guys, but there's still massive strikeout potential there. So maybe, I don't know. This has caused me to really start kind of rethinking things a little bit. I had convinced myself that JJ was probably going to be the only candidate that might be able to handle it. And I'd be lying to you if I still 100% felt that way now. My whole thing about JJ is that there was no other option. There was no other option with home run potential in my mind until Hurley. And that kind of put a dent in my thinking of the JJ position, and having them missed out on Hurley and having to circle back to JJ. I need to rethink that. So right now, Shan, I'm not excited about anyone at this point. And that's a frustrating position to be in, because I was excited about the potential of getting Hurly. I truly was. And now it's just frustration. Yes, to the Guggenheim Group. I would love that. But again, and they have increased their shares. But I don't believe that the Lakers will ever give up controlling interest in the Lakers for the near future. And even if the Guggenheim Group got up to 49%, they're not going to dump a ton of money into it if they don't have any say on how it's spent. If they don't have any say in how it's spent, no one's going to come in and be the entire money and the main investor, the money man, and have no say in how that money is spent. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Mr. Layback says, I knew Hurley wasn't coming. If so, deal would have got done by Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it started to feel, well, I mean, my thing was this. My thing, obviously we didn't know the number, but my thing was because the way the secrecy of the whole thing is gone, maybe I'm thinking, okay, maybe a deal got done on Friday and he's just flying back to Uconn to tell them in person versus having it leak on the internet. You know, go and tell his guys. Go and tell Uconn. That's, an honorable thing to do. So I was holding out hope that potentially maybe a deal got done on Friday. They were excited about it, and they were going back to Uconn to tell them face-to-face. That's what I was hoping for. Sell Lakers to Dodger owner, which makes Magic part owner. Yep. Daniel Berry, what's up, my guy? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Hey, we hope so. We hope so. He said, oh, hell no. This reminds me of the Kyrie saga. The Kyrie saga, I was pretty much knowing it wasn't going to happen. Like there was no way Joe Tsai was sending him to the Lakers. Like he was just being petty. He was petty as petty can get. That was never going to happen. This felt like they had some legs to it. It really did. It really felt like it had some legs to it, and it just didn't happen. Lamont says, Hurley just brought in a crazy recruiting class. They'll definitely start the year number one. Yeah, he brought in a crazy recruiting class. He had some of his former champions agree to come back and not enter the draft, sacrificing, some of their well-being for the future to go back and complete this. So I understand why Hurley did what he did. I do. I got no beef with Hurley. I got no anger towards Hurley. I'm not upset with the man. I don't hate the man. I don't even necessarily feel he led the Lakers on. These were negotiations, and it ended in I'll pass. And that happens, and for anyone who's ever been very, very good at what they do, for anyone that's ever been recruited, for anyone that's ever, taken a company to new heights, who's got your name kind of out there, anyone who's been recruited, you know what it's like to be comfortable where you are. You love where you are. You're not actively looking for anything else, but you've built a name for yourself in a particular industry or industries. And you've built that name gets around. And from time to time, people come looking for you. No, I'm nowhere near a 2-time championship head coach, but in my line of work and the things that I've done for most of my career, I've been in positions where people have tried to recruit me. I've been in positions where people, have come after me with offers trying to get me to, come join their company. So I know what that's like. And a majority of the time I turn them down. I always listen. My grandpa always told me, you listen. You always listen when someone wants to talk because you build relationships. And not to the level no one ever offered me $70 million. Like nowhere close. No one's ever offered me $7 million. You know what I mean? Not even, but what I'm saying is, in any industry in which you've been recruited, in a situation where you are comfortable, it's going to take like a Godfather offer to get you out of a situation where you're comfortable and compensated well. It's going to take a lot, especially when you're not just in it for the money, because you're building something or you've built something or you're halfway through a challenge or a goal that you want to see through. There's a lot of things that affect that. And so, like I said, I've been blessed and privileged enough to be in positions where I'm very good at what I do. So I've been privileged to have people come look for me. So I understand that side of the table. I've also been on the side of trying to recruit someone or trying to keep someone who's being recruited. So I've been through this process multiple times, from being recruited to being the recruiter to being the person who's having to re-recruit someone I've already got who's now trying to be recruited by someone else. Like, I know what that's like. So I understand what he did. I've got no beef for him. I just wish the Lakers, I wish the Lakers were walking away from this with less shame a little bit. Because like I said, that $100 million offer buried them as soon as we found out it was only 70. Tony says, hey, Jeff, maybe you and Dan could start a stealth GoFundMe to raise the extra 30 million. Oh, man. Yeah, that ship has sailed, man. He's gone, man. Heard he's gone, man. Shan said, how'd Stan Van Gundy do? Like, how would he do? I don't know if he's capable of being a head coach in today's league. I think maybe an assistant, maybe with someone like JJ, who's played for him. But I don't think the Van Gundy brothers, I think the league is just different for them right now. And they brought back their best player. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like I said, the Van Gundys, I don't think we'll see them get head coaches again. I don't think that's going to happen, man. Jeff's brother is better. Stan has failed too many times. Yep. Let's see. Mr. Layback. Sam Cassell may work. He may. We just don't know. We don't have any sample size to base it off of, right? He has the personality. He has the grit. I don't know if he's got that LA look, but he's got NBA pedigree. He's been a very good player. He was never a superstar player, but he played at a decent level. And he's been on some solid coaching staffs. He's learned from a lot of people. I just don't know if he's ready or capable of being a head coach. I don't know. X's and O's guys for sure. He said they're cheap, bro. I mean, they spend a lot of money, bro. They spend a lot of money. If you look at top 10 team spending, if you look at the tax, if you're looking at the Lakers have been in tax, they've been in repeater tax. That's not cheap. There's a difference between being cheap and being capable. The Lakers don't have those pockets of these other guys. The Lakers don't have the pockets to have a 30 person contributed to coaching staff. Like, when you mix in head coaches, associate coaches, assistant coaches, player development coaches, film people, like all these things that these other teams have. So it's just they're not cheap. Like, I'm pretty sure the majority of people in this chat would love to be able to go buy $100,000 car. But maybe they can't afford that type of payment or the down payment. Doesn't make them cheap. They just don't have it. And a majority of the world doesn't make them cheap. But they just don't have the bag like that. So there's a difference between cheap and capable. And the Lakers are not capable of spending that Ballmer bread, that Phoenix Suns owner's bread, the Bucks owner's bread, Joe Tsai bread, Dolan bread. They don't have that. Cuban just got bought out by that Vegas conglomerate. That bread is stupid. That's a bakery. There's so much bread up in that piece. So it's like the Lakers are a day-old bakery. they get leftover bread. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they're not cheap. They just don't got the bread. Sham says, Sam Cassell gives me the Darvin Ham vibes. I don't know now. I hope, I like that. But I want Darvin Ham part 2. Yeah, that's the thing. I think the Lakers were because the Darvin Ham situation was so toxic, like crazy toxic. Like, I've never seen a situation so toxic. Like I've been like, I got literally like blocked, unfollowed, cut out. Like, people don't talk to me because I halfway took up for Darvin Ham because I didn't feel he should have been hired in the first place. That's how toxic it was. Like, people literally like stopped talking to people who had anything nice to say about him. That's how toxic that situation became. It's nuts. So it's like, I think the Lakers are trying to get to a spot where they go the complete opposite of that. The complete opposite of that. And I think in a way that's smart. But at the same time, like, you know, the type of like coming from the player development, like he had a great rep coming in. It doesn't mean you completely pull away from the player development side, but you got to have player development with a plan and X's and O's and a very, very, very strong coaching staff. Now, I heard someone told me today, I didn't do a lot of reading up on this today. Someone told me today that the Lakers were trying to control the coaching staff again on this time because they didn't for Darvin Ham, and that could have been part of it too. I didn't read that. Someone told me that earlier. And so, like I said, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Jeannie should sell to the Guggenheim Group, Dodgers only, owners with money. Yeah, and I hear you, right? It's just not realistic. It's just not going to happen. Cassell isn't like Ham. I don't think he's like Ham because Cassell is much more talk trash, get in your face. I think he has a little bit more of that style in him. I do. We just don't know what he could be. We have no idea. Jeannie needs to go, bottom line. I hear you, Festo, but when you own something, you own something and you decide when you leave or when you don't. And she, and the Buzz family, I don't think they're moving on from this team anytime soon. Nakomi, what's going on? Nakomi, appreciate you pulling up. I appreciate you. Make sure, stop what you're doing, go over, subscribe to Call Me Nakomi's World. Beautiful basketball mind. Trust me. Incredible. Breaks it down. One of my favorite people on this entire NBA coverage. Gone over, pull up, Call Me Nakomi World. Trust me, you're welcome. Incredible, incredible, incredible work. Appreciate you pulling up, sis. She's a horrible owner. She's a so I'm not gonna say that. She should not be in this position. She should be handling the branding. She should be handling the side that makes, you know, the Laker brand. And there should be someone running the basketball operation side, being the face of it. Now that's on her for not having that person. But she was never intended to be this role. She was never intended to have that role. So the late, great Dr. Jerry Buss is as much as this hurts to say, that's on him. That was on him. He wanted more for his son to live the legacy versus picking the right person. And in doing so, that set us back. That set us back. And Dr. Jerry Buss did a lot of great things. He was incredible. And I still call him the greatest owner in team sports history. But he also did a lot of things that costed us. He did. And one of those was installing his son to replace him, letting Jerry West walk by not paying him the bonus money he should have got, and not taking care of some other people. Now, the stuff that Jeannie's doing, Dr. Buss did. Dr. Buss was at times labeled cheap. He was. You got to know your history on that, guys. He didn't just spend wildly and stupidly. He didn't. Now, if there was someone he had to have, and if he was in charge and viewed Hurly as someone he had to have, I believe he gets that done. And this was Jeannie's chance to do what her father would have done. However, I'm not going to sit up here and act like Dr. Buss didn't have his moments where he put himself in position to be called cheap too, because that happened. I remember that. Let's see. Great House is King. What's going on, man? Any credibility to the J-Rat rumor? I don't know. At this point, I don't know what's real and what's not. That Hurly becoming a candidate and him coming out here, it low-key shook up the industry. There were so many people who did not know. There were so many people, I mean, top tier, top of the line, top dog insiders didn't know. People who are part of the Los Angeles Lakers organization didn't know. And that kind of put in position like, what's real at this point? What's real? What other discussions were being had that almost came to fruition that didn't leak out? I mean, it's getting to a point where I just don't know. I just don't know. Like I've had people that have never given me false intel about something that was that far down the road, and then just be completely shocked about something being the total opposite. Now, having said that, this could end up where Shams and all these people who are saying that it's JJ, we could still be in a world where that comes true. And in the end, they weren't wrong. But it doesn't change the fact that the Lakers swung for the fences with Hurly and nobody knew about it. That does not change that. So a lot of people now are kind of like, what the, and you got to be on the lookout for that again. You got to be on the lookout. DJ, what's going on, brother? Shout out to DJ from Lakers in 5, man. Pausing his workout, pausing his push-ups and dips to salute the chat here, man. Make sure to pull up on DJ's channel, Lakers in 5. Give him a sub over there. Great guy, great channel, great content. Goes live every day, multiple times a day. DJ got me changing my lunch schedule, man. Sit here to check in with him on his lunch break when he's posting at noon every day. So make sure, Lakers in 5, like I said, great content over there. Do yourself a favor, go subscribe to that channel, man. Appreciate you, DJ. If you're working tonight, drive safe, brother. Quality Kev, what's up, man? Darvin Ham found a new job before Lakers can find a replacement. Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of laugh at this. I told you guys that there were a lot of people around the league who were not blaming Darvin Ham, that were kind of taking up for him and felt that the situation was making him look worse than he was. I'm not saying I believe that. I want to be clear on this. You guys know I said this before. It's out there. It's recorded. I've said this before. And now you're starting to see that. You're starting to hear that. Lou Williams went on TV today and said that they might have been better off keeping Darvin, that this wasn't maybe even his fault. They never let it play out. He's in his second year of, a lot of these things that I told you was being said in back channels. I'm not saying they're right. I want to be clear about that. And when I said it at the time, I wasn't saying they were right. But what I was saying is there is a lot of people around the league and within the league that believe that what happened in LA wasn't all Darvin's fault. Now, I believe there were a lot more bigger problems than just Darvin. I've stood on that. But he's had his issues. When it came to being a leader of men and controlling a locker room, he still needed some growth. Absolutely. When it came to being able to speak during a press conference and step up to a podium and not completely stick his foot in his mouth, he needs work on that. 10 out of 10. But I'm here to tell you this, that in NBA circles, Darvin Ham is looked upon highly. Superstars like him. And it doesn't change the fact that he had major struggles and he had major issues. It doesn't change that fact. But all I'm telling you is the stuff that I've been telling you all season, is there's a lot of people who don't blame him for it. That's just the truth. I'm not saying these people are right. I'm not saying they're right, wrong. I'm not saying anything other than the fact that I just knew that was being said. And now you're seeing people put their name on it. They're coming out publicly and saying it. And when you have things like that continually happen, then it's going to give people some pause when it comes to taking this job. It is. It just is. Fofo says this organization is cheap. They are cheap on an organizational side, yes. When it comes to putting the proper resources to help support the organization, they are when it comes to that. When it comes to players, when it comes to the roster, when it comes to the tax and all these things, they are not cheap from that standpoint. They just don't have the bag, and they, even without having the bag, I still believe they need to invest more in the organization. Alleman was the mind in the Denver offense. I mean, I'm sure that your mind looks a lot better when you've got Joker out there. I don't know if that mind translates. You remember when Luke Walton came over here and there was, well, he's not bringing Clay, Steph, and Draymond with him. That mind looks great when you've got a first ballot Hall of Famer and a top potentially 25 player when he's all said and done in Joker. The mind looks a lot better there. A lot better there. Fofo says, we're just embarrassing right now. It's tough right now. King Jedi, what's up, man? I think it's I think it's first time, man. Just let him go coach college ball. NBA isn't for everyone. Yeah, no, I get it. And like I said, I'm not even tripping on him, man. I see a lot of people were turning on him, bashing him, talking trash. Like, I'm not mad at him for doing what he felt was right in the end. Like I said, my regret here is I just really wish, I really wish that the Lakers just didn't come out of this looking as bad as they did. When you had that leak of that $100 million deal, and it turns out they only offered 70, that was gonna be bad. That just was gonna be bad, and that's where we are now. Savage, what's going on, bro? He said David Adelman is the choice. Malone said he's the offensive engine. Also made the adjustment offensively, game 3 that made them take 3 straight from the Wolves. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But again, you does that travel with him? Does that travel with him? Can he get the best out of a 40-year-old LeBron James? Can he? I don't know. He's getting the next job. See, I know probably like the East Coast. Well, here's a lot of things. So the Dolan is another, that's another situation there that a lot of people aren't entirely fond of. Here's the thing. I can tell you this, that probably the position that he's eyeing and would absolutely love to get is if Missoula falls apart in Boston. Like, I mean, New England, he's in Connecticut, East Coast, Northeast. God, I'm gonna hate that, but I'm getting, if Missoula slips, I know he can potentially win a championship, but we've seen championship coaches get fired a year or two later. Even if Missoula slips up, I think the Celtics are going to be a prime landing spot for him. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that because Brad Stevens was a coach that I really, really liked and wanted the Lakers to pursue. Celtics got him, and now he's one of the brightest minds in basketball operations today. And I was openly speaking about hoping the Lakers would go get him, and Celtics and Danny Ainge beat them to it, man. I also think it's funny how the media is trying their hardest to create a Woj versus Shams feud. Well, they're trying, but those two guys are also doing it too. Those two guys are heavy competitors, heavy, and they're doing enough of it as well. But yeah, I mean, that's high level competition there as well. That's not just on the court, but in those war rooms or those media rooms, man. Shams and Woj, those are the two dudes at the top, man, and they're going to be battling it out for years to come. And Shams is a worthy opponent, absolutely worthy opponent. And Woj is Woj. Woj is Woj, but Shams incredible, man. He's incredible. I'll go crazy if we choose JJ Borrego. It might happen, man. 670 wasn't going to cut it. What's up, Blaine? And that's where I'm at. I feel if I knew the number was 70, I would have been convinced he wasn't coming, man. I would have been convinced he wasn't coming. Only way I'd give $100 million is Coach K. Coach K is retired. He's not coming to coach now. He's unproven. No, I hear you. I know. I understand it. I get it. But he's would be in demand. If he came out on the open coaching market, like if he announced in April that he was open to this now, Phoenix would have thrown over $100 million at him. I'm telling you this right now. Phoenix would have. They would have offered him $1.5 bags. They absolutely would have. Who knows? Maybe the Clippers let Ty Lue out of his deal if he's available. Like I said, he would have been in heavy demand if he announced when other NBA head coaches had openings. He would have been in heavy demand. I promise you this. Marius, what's going on, man? I don't think he ever wanted to come here, even if we offered $100 million. To be honest, I guess we'll never know. But I think if they offered $100 million. I think that would have been I think we may have had a different story here. Okay, I don't think it wasn't going to cut it, but he said it wasn't the money though. Yeah, when you're saying it wasn't the money at 70, let's see if that's the case when they say 100. Also, it's the agent who hit up the Lakers first. See, Lakers are in a bad spot. No head coach in the near future with the draft in 2 weeks and free agency. Yeah, it's a tough time to not have one, man. Would you take John Collins? I've liked John Collins for a while, but at this point, I don't know how much of an upgrade he is over what we'd be moving to get him. I think the Lakers need to focus on someone who can make an immediate impact and would be worthy of giving up the assets to. John Collins is cool. He's a cool piece, but I don't think he's a guy that moves any type of needle. Lakers just needed GM also. You saw that leak earlier in the season that Rob overruled the brothers' draft pick of Whitmore for JHS. Yeah, I mean that's his job, and there's also been times where he's overruled and took the guys that they wanted to go elsewhere and it worked out for them. So that happens. The draft is an unproven science. You've had people who people believe are surefire, 100% can't miss, who end up busts, and you have people like Joker who get drafted in the second round during a Taco Bell commercial and win 3 MVPs. So it's very easy. Hindsight is very easy. And I also find it funny how no one ever talks about the times when he did that same move and it worked out. Just the way the world works today, man. It's always half empty. Let's see. Satchel said facts. Fresh perspective is needed. Facts. Jeannie has no dog. She's too emotional. Yeah, I mean, she's a very caring, nostalgic. There's a lot of, like I said, it's a family business, man. It's different. It's different there. It's a difficult situation, man. It's just a difficult situation. Gilbert Dixon, what's going on, my guy? What other coaches would be culture changers? I don't see any out there now. I don't. That's what's frustrating. Can't think of any good Rob has done as a GM. Well, I mean, he was technically a GM when Braun came. He was the GM that signed KCP. He was the GM that drafted Kuz, stole Josh Hart. He was the GM that traded for Anthony Davis. He was the GM that got Austin Reeves undrafted. He was the GM that made the bonehead move of getting Russ, but then also got off of it and got us to the Western Conference Finals. Rob has done plenty of good. The problem is when Rob does good, he doesn't sustain it. It's not continued good. He doesn't take good and add on good. Or he does something good and he does something we think is good and it doesn't work out. So he's literally had every slice of the pie when it comes to moves, right? And so he's done plenty of good, but he's done plenty of bad or plenty of And that's the thing. But he's done a lot of things, for sure. Just because I'm Reese. What's going on, Reese? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Hope you're having a good one, man. Hey, Jeff, check in now. What's going on? What's going on, Patrick? Appreciate you as always, brother. Man, if we knew it was 70 million, we'd have tell you we would have no chance. Yeah, if I knew 70 million off top, I would have been like, nah, it's not happening. The Lakers need a clean house. Blaine, I just don't know if they're ever going to, man. Lakers front office whiffed like CT3. He's above 100 now, though. He's above 100. So he's like the 99-cent store with tax right now. He's above 99 right now. Bob Myers is out there. Yeah, Bob Myers. I was really, really hoping for Connolly from Minnesota. I was hoping he would opt out. That's obviously not a chance now. He did a short-term kind of extension, picking up that option, and it's going to be short-term. He may potentially be available again later, but not now. Bob Myers is out there, and now because Conley isn't available, I wouldn't hate it. I just don't think they're going to spend the money on it at this point. I don't think so. The funniest hire would probably be Coach K. Imagine that. That would be funny. I just don't think that's happening, man. Goat James, what's going on, Chris? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Hope you're having a good night, man. Thank you for tuning in. Crossing my fingers that they hire Rondo as a head coach. I don't think they will hire him as a head coach. I think he has potential to be a very solid coach down the road. I just don't know if that will be now. He's got some legal situations he's got to deal with. They may even hold up him from becoming an assistant. I think he has a potential future in this league as a head coach, but I believe he will start off as an assistant. Bob Myers would definitely help now. Larry Brown has been the only college coach that has won a championship in the NBA ever. Let that sink in. We got to chill and stop acting like he is the Jesus of B-ball. What's going on, Alejandro? I feel like there was someone else, wasn't there? Wasn't there someone else that did it? But no, I get it. I totally get it. But there's also guys who came in who've been good head coaches. You know what I mean? So I believe didn't Pop coach like at Army or something? Like where was Pop at? But there have been guys who've coached in college that came in and wasn't Phil Jackson doing something with Connor and then the ABA or something like. So there's been guys who are at lower level that came up. But what I'm saying is it just when you got a guy who's known for develop, I think the NBA, I think we're in a stage where the NBA is gonna have to really strongly considering making a change of just recycling retreaded failed head coaches and go with some of these young guys who can thrive in player development but have heavy X's and O's. And I think where you're going to get that is going to be the college guys. And because, like I said, with this new CBA, if you can get 5 to 6 guys on your team that could contribute at low dollar amounts and develop them, then you are going to be in a very good position. And a lot of these player development guys that are in the NBA, they're player development, but they don't have any X's and O's. And that's why I think you're going to start seeing the college coach become very, very appealing to NBA franchises. And I think rightfully so because of that shift. Rondo would be big. Rondo on the staff in general would be big. Woj kind of said Lakers vision, keep young players like Reeves, Rui, Max, and build through the draft. Probably got all that Dan himself. Yeah, that's what made potentially getting him so big, man. Wonder what Ballmer would do if he had Braun and AD. Well, that's the thing. When it comes down to the Clippers, they got all the money, but it hasn't worked out for them either. Like, they've got Kawhi and Paul George. They had Kawhi, Paul George, and Harden. I know Kawhi got hurt. They've had that 2000 team, and 2021 team was stacked. They haven't made the best of decisions either. Even with the bag, even with the money, even with tons of resources. Sometimes it doesn't matter, right? And it's funny because you got on one side, you got the team with all the money in the world, and still can't get right. And it's funny how that works out, you know? What's going on, Rob? Salute to you, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Ballmer puts money into every department. Yeah, that's facts. Purple and Gold. What's going on, bro? Hey, Jeff, word is it wasn't really 100 mil over 6 years, 70 is really the offer, is what Woj made that up. Like I said, I don't know originally where that 100 came from. But that is you knew it was going to be downhill from there if that offer ended up being anything other than that 100 mil. You knew that was going to be tough. I'm going to try to hit through these quick, guys. I know we're behind here. Alejandro says we got to stop crying and focus on who we get next. Let F and go. No, I'm with you. I agree. She has 700 million to her name. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. It doesn't matter if Ballmer put all the money on the Clippers. They ain't winning the chip. That franchise is cursed. Shan says, I want Laurie and Sexton, but you think John Collins and Sexton is more realistic? I think I'm not convinced that Utah's going to remove marketing unless they get just blown away with the deal. And I'm not sure the Lakers have what it takes to blow them away in a deal. Jerica, what's going on? Empire Jeff, the best in the game. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Fortunately, we don't sign Hurly, but we should move on and go sign JJ. What are you hearing from your people? Keep being great, handsome, go Lakers. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you, Jerica. I'm not, the only thing I ever heard was JJ. I never heard anything about Hurly. Nothing. Like not even a hint. Nothing at it. Everything I've ever heard is that it was pretty much JJ, and there's just trying to figure out a staff. I don't really have. I heard they like Borrego, like they liked him, but they don't see him, or didn't at the time see him as that guy. They were kind of hoping to maybe potentially make him an assistant, top tier assistant. I don't know if he's interested in that or willing to take that. But I'm not hearing anything different than what I was hearing prior to the Hurly situation. But having said that, we'll see how this progresses here. But thank you so much for tuning in. You are greatly, greatly appreciated. I hope Lakers will hire someone soon so that the media can stop talking about Hurly. He looks annoying to me looking at him on the TV. Yeah, it's not going to go away until they do. And even no matter who they hire, you're going to hear his name for a while. It's not going to go away. But I'm going to ride or die with this franchise. That's right. Oh, for sure. Me too. What's going on, JSJ? Appreciate you pulling up, man. Thank you for tuning in. Philip Jansen says, who do you think we will end up with? Thank you for tuning in, Philip. I appreciate you. I don't know now, bro. I don't know. I was convinced it was JJ. Hurley came out of nowhere. I was hopeful for that, but still 50-50 at best. I'm at a point where I just don't trust my own instincts anymore when it comes to this team, because what I think they should do or what I hope they should do just doesn't seem to ever end up being what happens. And frustrating, man. It's frustrating. And all we could do is sit back and wait, because people who are known for great intel had no idea this Hurley thing was going on. However, like I said earlier, they may end up being right when it's all said and done. It may still end up being JJ, but we're going to have to wait and see. Alejandro said, us Laker fans got first world problems. Imagine being Charlotte fans. No, I hear you, man. Facts. What about the Adelman guy? I don't know if, like I said, I've also got concerns about someone like Adelman or being someone that could probably have a pretty decent NBA head coaching career. I don't know if those guys are going to consider the Lakers right now. I just don't know. It is a seat where I think it is still a big time job in the league. I think it's really tough on a rookie head coach, and I think some of those are really starting to realize that. And it's going to be tough. I don't know if a lot of those guys want that pressure or heat. I bet every coach is looking for security with the Lakers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, because they want to get fired. Let's see. When the Lakers hire a coach, then their job is already on life support. Yeah, it feels that way. I don't watch the EuroLeague or college hoop, but I think Hurley's coaching style is almost the same as any EuroLeague coach. Do you think the Lakers should be acquaintances with European coaches? I just don't think a European coach is ideal when it comes to if Brown is still on this team. The Lakers should never leak that Hurley was the top choice, even if it was because now all the other candidates are going to feel like plus the media is killing the Lakers. It wasn't really the Lakers that leaked that. Woj put that out there. When the Lakers hire a coach, then their job is already on life support. They said, yeah, Jeremy, what's going on, Jeremy? Appreciate you, bro. Honestly, we want a coach to be here besides money. Of course, that's extremely important, but it makes a difference when your heart just is invested. Jay Wright is out there. You respect that hire. He is out there. He's not coming off 2 national championships. I don't know, man. The Hurley thing felt different to me, man. It just felt different. Jay Wright, I think I don't think people are latching on to the bringing Luke Murray in and what they could have done with development like that. That was going to be a program the Lakers were going to be running. I'm not entirely sure Jay Wright hits the same. That's just my personal opinion. By the way, bro, Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be a problem if they can get to the playoffs. Our pitching is no joke. Nah, Jeremy, I hear you. They're a very good young and upcoming team. I think they're a little early. I don't think they're there yet. But yeah, if they get in, if you get in, I don't care who you are. If you get in, you can scare the hell out of someone. I totally agree with you. 15-2. Yeah, the Dodgers bats went ballistic tonight against the champions, man. Do you think Anthony McFarland is a credible source? I'm not going to sit here and say who's credible and who's not. Because I'm sure I've got people saying I'm not credible when I've talked about what I've heard or even on the baseball side. So it's not for me to say. All I can say is I hope so. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to call anyone liars. I just take information as I receive it and form my own opinion. I've never been someone that goes too deep down the path of other people's thoughts. I do my own research, look in and go from there. And a lot of the times it comes out, and a lot of people just run with the report and just take it as is, and then they just don't ever check for themselves, But I'm not going to push back on anyone being credible because I don't know who they're talking to. The home run move would have been nice, but at least we need someone better than Ham. That can't be that hard. What's going on? That's funny. Jeff, did JJ ever apply for the Laker head coaching job? I think the Lakers should open the head coaching job for someone who wants to apply. JJ has been, JJ definitely has had interest in it and is definitely let that be known. They've met, What's going on, Red's Dog? Salute to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Hope you're having a good night. Appreciate you tuning in as always, my guy. Jay said, notice how Vogel and Ham's last games were against the Nuggets. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, D Prince? Hey, Jeff, just turned in. You might have mentioned this already, but front office doesn't seem to show sense of urgency in coaching search. The draft is less than 2 weeks away. I mean, I don't know if they're not showing urgency. I think they were very urgent in trying to get Hurley. It just didn't work out. I don't know if there's anyone out there that you got to be urgent about anymore right now, Patrick says Genie is broke compared to other owners, but we are broke compared to Genie. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, we need a coach who wants to be the Laker coach, who wants to take the challenge of being the coach of the best fan base in sports. If they are comfortable as is, I don't want them. I hear you. But sometimes, sometimes it's not just as easy as someone to say, okay, yeah, I want it. And that's it. There are some legitimate concerns sometimes with people. People got to weigh options. It be that way sometimes, man. It happens. Let's see. I wonder what happened to Kenny Atkinson. He's probably a finalist for Cleveland, I believe. Facts. Most people don't know who Hurley was until this week. I'm a huge Laker fan, but I don't watch college sports. I wasn't heavy into college sports this year, or even really last year either. I've been so busy. But I know the Hurley brand because of his brother, his pops, like him winning 2 national championships. Like I know that, you know what I mean? But I don't know a variety of other college coaches, but I definitely knew who Dan Hurley was. Izzy 714, what's going on, man? JJ Redick is our guy, but we have to wait until the finals are over. That very well may happen for sure. Nobody knows Hurley. I can't even spell his last name right. It's Rob, to be honest. He's saying, Tony says, Jeannie already helped win a championship. She deserves respect. She does deserve respect. I'm giving her respect for sure. That's why I don't want to use the word defending her, but I'm kind of taking up for her in a way that, like I said, I mean, she's doing the best she can with the means that she has. If my father left me a business that he did great in and it was thriving, and his goal and his dream and his dying wishes were for me to never sell it, then I'm sorry. I ain't listening to a damn fan like ever. You know what I mean? I'm trying to rebuild and figure out my father's legacy at that point, because those were his dying wishes. And at the end of the day, that means more than people screaming in the seats like it does. People are going to keep coming no matter what. They're going to keep paying no matter what. Laker fans are going to not stop being Laker fans. People are not going to stop paying sponsors and all these different things. That the Laker brand is going to remain strong. The Lakers can go 10 straight years of a losing record and their brand will still stay strong. Now, it's not ideal, and I wouldn't recommend them doing that. But at the end of the day, she does deserve her respect. And but at the same time, we also deserve more, but I don't know how she goes about doing it. That's the problem. Like I said, it's a tough situation, man. It is. Saying stop it. I don't know when you said it, so I don't know what you're telling me to stop. Jesse Buss needs to run the basketball side. I don't even know if he's ready yet. Don't know if he's ready yet. It could be, everyone was excited when Jeannie took over down there bashing her. We don't know yet if he's even ready for that yet. Yeah, at Vegas Dev, I agree. I don't think she's going to sell, man. You said Jeannie blackballed Magic Johnson? That's interesting. Said it's on her. Partially, she's not removed from blame. Definitely not saying that. They're running this team like Dr. Buss did. Unfortunately, that doesn't work in this day and age. Skipping out on scouting and front office will continue to bite you in the. I expect years of mid. Yeah, Bloodhound, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think people forget that Dr. Buss, managed on a budget too. And I know a lot of people didn't grow up watching it, that era, that they hear his name. A lot of people that don't grow up watching the Kobe Shaq era. They didn't watch the young Kobe era. They didn't watch the pre-Kobe era. They talk about it like they lived it, but they didn't. So it's like Dr. Buss had his challenges too, y'all. He really, really did. Anthony Paris, what's going on, man? Lakers are cheap. Got to sell the team. Lakers got used by Woj and Hurley family to get paid by Connecticut. There's a lot of people who feel that way, man. What's going on, Dante? Salute, brother. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Hope you're having a good night. Us Laker fans have to remember things usually worked out for us. We still got a chip after Kawhi and Lou said no. We got a chip even after we didn't trade for Carmelo. Yep, facts. Jeff wins the lottery and buys this team. Oh my God, man, that would be crazy, right? A fan writing team off a lottery ticket. That'd be nuts. Ham planning to take over the job if Doc Rivers fails. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being the head coach of the Bucks eventually. Darvin Ham is looked at as elite in NBA circles. I've heard from plenty of people that a lot of people around the league have high regard for him. Like I said, I've been saying that, and I'm not calling anyone right or wrong, but I've been hearing that for a long time, and I also heard that a lot of people don't blame him for what went wrong there. Like I said, I believe he definitely has his share of blame. He definitely contributed, but he definitely was not the only problem. He definitely was not. I'm just tempering my expectations for the next several years. Yeah, that might be wise. That might be wise, man. Izzy says, nah, Ham favored his homies, Cam and Prince. He lost the locker room after the tournament. Yeah, like I said, he definitely had his struggles and his problems and his issues and his and some inefficiencies and deficiencies that affected the team. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. At the end of the day, though, A lot of first and second year head coaches have that problem. The problem is it's just the Lakers were never going to be the team for him. He was never going to be the right hire. There's a lot of second year head coaches and first year head coaches who struggle through that and learn through it and become better. Darvin was just never going to get the chance to do that. And it, unfortunately, it's just this job. If you don't produce quick, you're gonna get the blunt of the brain, the blunt of the blame. That just goes without saying. Now it's not like he didn't deserve some of the blame, but my expectations for him were realistic. I never expected him to come in and be a game changer off top. Like, it was gonna take time. I'm a little frustrated that I kind of fell for a little bit of the salesman in him, because I typically don't fall for that. And so that he definitely got one over on me that way. But it became evident rather early that he was going to have some struggles. But outside of that, plenty of coaches had struggles early on and made it through. But unfortunately, when you're coaching the Los Angeles Lakers, it's really, really not an option to take a few years to figure it out. By Ham, I don't care who likes him. Lakers Nation don't rob next. Yeah, Lakers Nation, absolutely. I'm not going to be up here and say that I liked Ham or wanted him to stay. I was saying he got to go mainly because of the toxicness of it all. But at the end of the day, I wish him well. Like, he's out of here. I'm not rooting for him to fail. Darvin was a terrible coach. What's going on, Craig? Yeah, I mean, he he definitely had his struggles, man. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about what Lamont said about Darvin. Well, I mean, he wasn't saying that he was an elite coach. He was saying that there were people around the league who still see him, like I said, not see him as the problem, And, I'm not saying it right, not saying it wrong. What I'm saying is, I've just known for a while, because it's been said that a lot of people didn't blame him for what went wrong there. And there's been a lot of people, media, not just media, but players in the league, superstar level players in the league, coaches, front offices. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people don't see the game through an emotional eye of a fan or a fanatic. They don't. Like, they just don't. They're not blinded by that. So their observations are slightly different because they're not caught up in it. They're not so deep in it that they see red. You know what I mean? So it's their perspectives are different. And whether they're right or whether they're wrong, remains to be seen. I mean, if he goes somewhere else and has some success, maybe it's because he had 2 years of doing it before. Who knows? Maybe he goes there and falls flat on his face. I don't know, But I just know from the get-go that this one was going to be very difficult for him. He was never the right guy in the first place. And you had that staff that he added to it, and it was just recipe for disaster, man. What's going on, Fabio? Should Jeannie Buss either sell the team or hire a team's operation manager? She's not going to sell. So I just hope that, they decide to spend on someone to be the face of the basketball operations side. Bob Myers is there. Mind works, Jeff Tex winner. Yeah, it's really be really tough to run the triangle today, though. There's elements of it. There's parts of it that are kind of lingering around, but running the overall triangle in today's game just wouldn't really work. Adelman has something better. AD better than Joker. As he says, James Borrego should be our coach. Maybe he will. At this point, just grab JB Bickerstaff. I wouldn't mind him as an assistant. Sammy, what's going on? Sammy, he said, yo, what's good, Jeff, man? I heard Hurley was third option and JJ has always been the front runner. I'm hearing. Again, I never heard Hurley's name at all until the masses did. Like, I had there's been plenty of times where I had heard something before it happened and then it came out, right? Nothing. Like, I had nothing whatsoever on this. It's just nothing. And it was almost as gone as fast as it came up too. Craig said Dodgers win. Absolutely. Sammy says, personally, I want money because what we went through in good code. He wants reparations in here, man. What's going on, Jamil? Lakers need a 5. They definitely need a 5. A 5 to help their 5. AD is a 5 in today's NBA, but they need another 5. They need another big, a legit big, a bruising big, definitely for sure. In today's NBA, AD is a center. Fizdale's a good pick. Nah, Fizdale. Fizdale's not even on a coaching staff. I think he's working with the. Is he back in the? Or I know he was talking about a front office position. Maybe he did go back on the bench with Phoenix. Facts, but Lakers fans don't speak on the trade deadline last year. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Rob has done some decent things, man. He really, really has, but it just is never ever sustainable. It never it just falls apart after, or he does something to undo it. And that's what it is. He's done good things, but he just does things to undo it. Tina, what's going on? It said Hurley's wife didn't want to live on the West Coast, so Dan wasn't going to come. That was lingering around nonstop. You know, I heard that she really liked Jeannie. She actually met with Jeannie personally, had lunch with her, and liked her. Like, it just like I said, man, I think if that offer that he couldn't refuse was offered, maybe we have a different situation. But we will never know. His wife didn't come to LA for the meeting. He was never going to be the coach. She was in LA before he got here, so that was actually confirmed. NBA and college coach is different. It is facts. It is, but I think you're going to see a lot of college coaches coming up to develop talent in this new wave of NBA. He said that. I'm not going to say that out loud. Let's see. I think he was kidding there, though. What's going on, Lakers Dodgers for life? We need to become a poverty franchise. That's how they belong to the Clippers, how the tables have turned. Well, yeah, it's just we're not a, I get what you mean. We're not a poverty standpoint from the same of like legacy or being the brand. But as far as having a bag to be able to go spend just endlessly, yeah, we're kind of there, unfortunately. I'll do my best to catch up to every one of these chats, yo. I'm trying. Although she's the owner, the logo is bigger than her. Buddy 2 system, shaking my head. Jeannie was unwilling to fire Rob because they are so close and won't even bother hiring your GM. This will just be a recurring problem each year. You might be right about that. Lakers most likely keeping their pick. Everyone shopping their picks. The market 100% dry in this draft. Just hope it's a center and the market thin for playable ones. Well, Savage, that's what I'm saying. If you're in a market where everyone's trying to move their pick, I see opportunity there. They move up. Because if the picks are that cheap, you're never going to be able to move into a top 5 for that cheap. Probably again. So if everyone's looking to move their picks and the price is low, jump up. And that may be something they do. Pelinka should be fired. What's going on? Was that Eman report? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for tuning in. And it's starting to feel like it's ran its course for sure. For sure, man. There are some gems in this draft. There are some people I think are have very good long NBA careers. It's not like a Zion, a Wemby, or these people that are like, oh, definitely number one, right? But outside of that, I think you're going to find guys who can play for a long time and help contribute to championships as high-level role players. I believe so. You will never know if a college coach will be good in the NBA unless you hire him. Facts. What's going on, Hanson? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. It's not just Rob. Jeannie takes advice from Kurt Rambis. She seeks counsel from people that she trusts. A lot of people do that. Now, again, I think there needs to be someone who can run that side of the team. That's not someone that she spends Christmases with, people that she can't get rid of. Like, it has to be someone that's held accountable and holds people accountable. And that is just really going to be tough to achieve. I think the upsetting on JB Bickerstaff, that'd be interesting. I don't think they'll go that route, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron bulks back to Cleveland. I don't think that's happening either. Although that's true, a college coach is not the best for the situation. Not any college coach, but some guys are just cut different. And Hurley just seems like he was. Give my mind, Jeff, a like. Appreciate it, man. Where are we at likewise? We're sitting here on 40 likes on the video. I've got over 80 people in the building right now. Ron, help me out, man.
Acknowledge me, please.
Come on, yo. Over 80 people in the room right now. 80 people watching the stream right now. Please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. About 30% of the people who are here nightly have yet to subscribe to the channel. So I greatly appreciate you sub up to the channel. Drop a like on the video. It goes a long way to help the channel out. You can also become a member on the channel by hitting the link in the description. But like I said, a like or a subscription would do just fine, and we'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. It truly does help grow the community. And what I always forget to say from time to time is share the video. Put it out there on the socials. Spread the word, man. Try to help the channel grow. We'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to catch up, y'all. Trill, what's going on, man? We need to get set up some charity or GoFundMe for the Lakers pop and mom shop to afford an elite coach. Oh man, it's getting there, man. Bron not going back to Cleveland. I don't think so either. I don't think Bron's going anywhere, man. Savannah loves LA. His family loves LA. He loves LA. He's moved all his businesses to LA. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I love Rondo, man. I think he has potential to be a great NBA head coach. I just think his legal issues may probably have thrown a little bit of a wrench into that. What elite coach isn't already chosen? That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't the pool of candidates, I just don't see it out there, man. You say you doubt it's JJ? Oh man, we'll see. Borrego looked horrible with the Hornets. Well, he was an assistant with the Hornets, so he's not the final. It was really green. He was getting a lot of praise for it. He runs his offensive sets are pretty solid. But again, the Lakers, it doesn't matter who they get. If it's a trash core of assistants, it all falls apart again, and that's just what it is. Ghost is laughing. I'm not sure at what. It's been very strange coaching search, especially since we keep getting info from two different people. Woj and Shams. Yep. Borrego likely head coach to Cleveland. Yeah, I think it's Borrego. It's gonna be Borrego or Atkinson more than likely. They should have gotten Budenholzer and added Andrew Griffin as an assistant coach. Budenholzer, being Darvin Ham's mentor, probably wasn't going to go over well. So that went out the window. And like I said, he got paid over $10 million. Budenholzer's got a lot of issues, a lot of challenges as well. At this point, no good coach wants to work for Pelinka. That may be fair. As a longtime Lakers hater, I just want to say y'all doing a great job. Keep it up. Hey, appreciate it. I don't know if you're saying they're doing a great job at being terrible or if you're saying we're doing a great job at the channel. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, man. Everyone's welcome here. I'm a Laker fan, but I keep it a buck. I'm realistic about my team. I never get too high, never get too low. I don't pom-pom for them. I call them out, hold them accountable, and praise them when they deserve it, man. But all fans of all teams are welcome here, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. I'm not a Lakers fan, just here for the LBJ show. And there's a lot of people who are not Laker fans, who are Bron fans, and some of them are a world-class nightmare, and some of them are great basketball minds. It depends what side of the fence you're on, right? But same as Laker fans. There's a lot of Laker stands who can be annoying as hell too, and a lot of great Laker fans who are knowledgeable and can have a straight conversation. So it all depends on the person. I've seen player stands and team fans both get out of pocket, and I've seen the shoe on the other foot where they're great to talk hoops with. It's on both sides. Yeah, Bron ain't going nowhere, man. Why wouldn't a good coach want to be imprinted into Lakers history? They would love it. It's just the problem is, it's not just Laker history. It's just the Laker pressure, man. It's a pain in the ass at times. Ty Lue was the choice they missed on. Yeah, Craig, that one bit them for sure. JJ and LBJ podcast was an interview. Man, Dante, what's going on, man? He said, I don't think he is, but don't count on LeBron leaving. Might be a blessing in reality. Yeah, I just don't think he's going nowhere, man. Yeah, Ty Lue was cool, but what does his resume look like after Bron? True, but we know it works with Bron, and we know that Bron respects him, and we know he's a good head coach. So it's better than anything out there right now. It's a bubble ring. Yeah, I mean, it's a bubble ring, but record books counted as an NBA championship, and there were good teams in that bubble, and the Lakers were the best team in that league from the start of the season to the end of the season. They were winning it regardless. So the bubble ring counts in the record books just like any other championship out there. Lockout shortened seasons. We've had a lot of situations where teams, lucked out from it. So like I said, Lakers won it fair and square. The teams in the bubble were good. Lakers got it done. But the only reason people call it a bubble chip or limited is simply because it's just the Lakers that won it. That's it. People discredit it. I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's in the record books. That outweighs any one of our opinions, including mine. It's in the NBA record books up there with every other championship in time. Can't no one ever take that away or change that. Yeah, they were going to win that year regardless. Anyone without any hate pumping in their heart knows that. The main issue is that the Lakers got rejected and that got leaked. How many rejections happened during the season? Too many teams don't get leaked out. Yep. Facts. We don't know if AD would have lasted. Well, I mean, he lasted last year. He lasted this year. We've seen it before. There's only one season where AD didn't last the end of the season. That was 2021. And because no team that went to the Final Four in the bubble made it to the Final Four the next season. People don't like to bring that part up. AD has lasted to get through every other playoff series other than 2021. Why did they get rid of Phil Handy? They got rid of the whole coaching staff because they couldn't get it done. That's another thing, man. Laker fans land onto these narratives and these lores of people. And like our young players did not progress. That falls on player development, you know? So while Handy's very good at what he does, he's not head and shoulders above the rest of the league when it comes to player development. You can get people like Phil Handy. It's just, that's his name is just, out there. He's a brand. And I would love to have him back. Don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is Phil Handy being gone is not make or break for this team next year. We need a head coach and a strong staff. Phil Handy does not have anything to do with in-game situations or X's and O's. We need some guys that can do that. Let's see. As far as how cool he was with the players, maybe. But the thing is, a lot of the top tier players use their own guys. They use their own guys. Like a lot of the superstars don't use the team's player development guys. A lot of those guys have their own people and even have some of the other guys on the team take part in that too. Let me see. I was trying to catch up to everything here, man. I have to skip through these. I have to rip through these here. Keep it real. Hammond's not a head coach. Facts over fiction. Well, he was a head coach for 2 years, so maybe he will be again. I don't know. I can't predict the future, but he was a head coach for 2 years. He does still train numerous people. Handy is good development coach. He's good. I'm definitely not taking that away. What I'm saying is it's not like he's the only one, and yeah, that part. He hasn't been picked up yet. You know what I mean? So just wait it out. Maybe he comes back. Yeah. Let's see. The next coach should be for AD. Yeah, that's not a bad thing to go after there. Jeff wouldn't buy the Lakers if he won the lottery. We would never see Jeff again. You know what? If I won the lottery, yeah, you would, man. You guys would, because believe it or not, man, I would take this to the ultimate next level. I've had my own network. Like I'd be doing it crazy. Man. I love doing this. You know what I mean? That's why I do this on my free time. You know what I mean? I actually genuinely love doing this. If I won the lottery, man, I'd build out an entire network, bro. Like you'd actually see me more if I won the lottery. There'd be some wildness with it too, but you definitely would still see me. Black Mamba, what's going on, man? What's good, Jeff? Do you honestly think the Lakers will get this team right? Just got home from work. LBC to Paris. Oh, man. Okay, gotcha. Going back to the beginning now, bro. Get them likes up. Appreciate you, bro. I don't know, bro. Same thing I said last year. I kept saying last year, this team, I didn't see anything saving that team last year. I was very vocal about that. Like I said, I had a lot of people get upset with me because I was keeping it real, being honest, not pom-pomming. And, I still stand on that. I need to see it. They've lost my confidence in just me saying they're going to figure it out. I don't see it that way anymore. Chances the Lakers go get Looney. He's a free agent. That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting pickup. That just seems like a Laker type of move, right? I don't know what he has left though, but we'll have to see. But he's solid in short stretches. I wouldn't hate that. I see what you did. I don't know. Like I said, I need to do my homework on NCAA, man. My problem with the Lakers is that they tend to misdiagnose talent. They take a good chef and turn him into customer service rep and then expect him to be the best CSR. That's a great way of putting it. Oh my God. That's a great take. You're right. Close to Wemby. Yeah. What would they have to do to move up in the draft? I'm going to give up multiple number ones to move up. It's not worth it. Just an opinion. I don't think they would have to. I think you can move up with a 1 and some seconds. I think you can move 17 and some seconds to move up. I think you can because you got people trying to get rid of their picks. D'Antoni is the best available to win now. And D'Antoni, that's interesting. Well, I mean, the Lakers offense, was peaking and took off last year. Their problem is defense. D'Antoni definitely doesn't fix that. I don't think he'll ever get a head coaching job again, Lamont. Now, him as an assistant for offense, I wouldn't hate that, but I don't think he gets a head coaching gig again. And I think the Lakers really, really need defense. What's a good team the Lakers can realistically trade up with? I think anyone outside of the top three, you could have a legitimate chance at making a move for, if you come correct. Yeah, Shan. I mean, get a big that isn't afraid to play big, especially when needed. Now, here's the thing. I know that narrative out there about small ball and 3-guard lineups and all that. I know Laker fans hate it, but the majority of the league runs that. It's not just the Lakers that do that. That is a trend of today's NBA. But when teams do go big or teams have an unstoppable big, then, making sure that AD has some help so he doesn't have to try to be the best player on offense and defense for that team and play with a 40-year-old LeBron James, then that's when it's very, very important. So they need a big. I don't think they need a big to play 35, 40 minutes a game, but they need a legit other big. And I think that's honestly harder to find nowadays than shooting. Like, I really do. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter, man. I said we got over 80 people watching live on Twitter right now. Shout out to you guys. We got 80 people in the building on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're on Twitter, make sure to like the post, repost the tweet. We repost the post, if you will. We greatly appreciate it, man. A lot of people tuning in tonight. A lot of people showing love. A lot of people contributing to the conversation. Yeah, I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, whether you agree, you disagree with me, like I said, it's all welcome, man. Like, I'm not one of those people. You're not going to get blocked or muted for for disagreeing with me. I'm not weirdo like that. So everyone here is welcome. You're free to give your opinions as long as you're respectful. As long as you treat everybody with respect, everyone is welcome here. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Greatly appreciate y'all, man. Jerry says Hurley didn't want a brittle AD, old LeBron, and not enough assets versus other teams. But I mean, I get where you're coming from about Bron's age and AD's history. But I think that, looking at the team, they were going to have 3. I think this was a very long-term play, especially if they offered him like 7 years, right? If they would have offered him that, even to 6 years, it was going to be a very long-term play. And I think that, he would have a chance to coach what this was now, but then have a chance to really build something in his image and in his culture. And I really felt like that could have been something he could have done. I think the Lakers are looking for someone that they can hand the keys to, that can handle that. Then goes work where I'm like, we need to do this. Go get me this. Go play. Let's get us this. Let's do that. Like a true partner on that side, right? And well, I'm not taking away from what you're saying initially. I'm just speaking on the fact that I really think that this has a chance to be a very good long-term play. Hurley will coach the Wizards next season as well. If AD plays center, why won't Giannis play it? Giannis has played some center, but Giannis is playing with a center that can stretch and hit. So like when you got someone like Giannis, AD has not shot the 3 well, but he has a much better jump shot than Giannis. So he can be that stretch 5, that stretch big out there for you at times, right? Being AD. Also, Giannis is a guy that plays more with the ball in his hands facing the basket. He's not really a post guy. He can post. He can do it, but he's a guy who plays more chest to the basket than back to the basket. AD is better the opposite way. So that would mean put him more as at the 5, where Giannis is more of a 4 in the style that he plays, even though AD, you could argue, may be better with the ball in his hands with his chest facing the basket, being a former point guard. But their styles are similar. Their styles are not similar. And Giannis being the clear-cut number 1 option on his team, they wanted kind of another big out there to let him be that number 1 option. Now, if the Lakers actually made AD the number 1 option and actually ran things thoroughly through him, then you could be like, okay, we need that other primary big like they had with the Brook Lopez or something like that, because then he is the true number 1 guy, usage rate, touches, all of that. But he just has never been that guy with the Lakers. What went wrong with the Suns in that Bucks series? You talk about the championship. The Suns were just playing over their heads. Like, if the Lakers don't get hurt, if the Clippers don't get hurt, like, the Suns don't even make the finals. So the Suns got there, went up 2-0, and they lost to the better team. And the best player in the series was Giannis. And once Giannis started, taking and I think something was wrong with his knee in that year. And once he kind of got it together, they were done. So that's pretty much what it was. They weren't a championship team. They got to the championship, but they were not a championship team. And just like Miami got to the finals last year, but they were not a championship team. Because Milwaukee isn't a delusional like him. Other teams have more to trade for than the Lakers. Hurley did not want that. The Lakers have a lot to trade. I think you're tripping on that. 3 unprotected first-round picks, movable money. The Lakers have a lot to move this season. We'll see what they do. Ty Lue has done questionable things on the Clippers. He definitely has. Every coach has done questionable things. Every single one of them. And I've been saying all year, if you listen to fan bases around the league, like, I've gone on plenty of shows of people who cover other teams. And I also support and watch their shows when I get some time. And I hear the same complaints from those fans as Laker fans. Like, same thing. It's their coaching, small lineups, rotations, timeouts, challenges. I hear the same things, and people just don't seem to realize or understand that it's just the way the game is played and managed now. It is not just a Laker thing. It was not just a Darvin Ham thing. This is league wide. I'm telling you. Ask my peoples over at We Talk Mavs. Talk to them. They will tell you this. Like, we've had multiple conversations about this, man. And it's just funny because, Lakers feel like it's only happening to them and it's only their situation. But a lot of other teams, fan bases have complained about the same situation. The problem is the game is just shifted and changed. And, me, I like probably a little less threes per game. Like, I like it a little bit more traditional. But outside of that, at the end of the day, it's just what the league is. My feelings or opinions don't matter. It's not like they're going to stop playing that way because I don't like it or like it less. So it's the same thing. Coaches are not going to change what other coaches in the league are doing from a trending standpoint simply because we don't like it. It's not the way it goes, Jamil says the refs went wrong. The refs chasing CP3. Suns were I just never saw them as a championship team that year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what it is. I've been saying that I feel like the era of the great NBA head coach is gone. I think the only thing they can save it is some of these college guys going up and going on like 10-year runs. Outside of that, I don't know where it's going to come from. Savage says, Jeff, let's be real. The coaching market sucks. Yes, but there is 100% a gem among them. We just have to gamble, right? Maybe JJ or an assistant on the bench. You're going to have to gamble and hope you hit. That's a fact. There's no clear cut. And that's the thing. They'd be hired already. There's no, Lucky's running through the house here. There's no clear cut. There's not. You're absolutely right, Savage. And that's what I'm saying. You have to hit on it. You have to take the guess and hit on it. That's a fact. Celtics have 11 bubble rings. Here we go. What's going on, Tyrone? What trade the Lakers could do in your opinion? Right now, nothing. We got to wait to see around the draft what happens, what teams are open, who opts in, who opts out, things like that. It's very early to tell right now. Anything else is speculation. But literally, what could they do right now? Not much. So they know what D'Lo was going to do, till they know what Braun is going to do, until they know, until they have their third pick to move. So really nothing right now. I agree with getting a new player development coach, but would love it the Lakers looked at college for them. Yes, yeah, that's exactly. Dan Inspiration, what's going on, my guy? Get Bob Myers. I wish, but they're not going to spend, man. Jeff, as a former coach, do you wish NBA coaches have more power than players? Power is a funny word. I don't necessarily, it's like I never, if I was an NBA head coach, I wouldn't necessarily want power. I would want a partnership. I would want my voice to matter, but I could also be wrong, right? I want to be part of like a think tank, be part of a process. I'm not a control freak. I'm not power happy. I'm not, doesn't have to be my idea. It just has to be the right idea. Doesn't mean mine. I'm not one of those people. If it's not my idea, I don't like it. If someone has a better idea that can work for all involved, I'm with it 10 times out of 10. So for me, it wouldn't be about power. But if I'm out there, if I'm in the trenches, if I'm putting in the work, I would like for my voice to matter. I would like to have a say. But if I'm outvoted or just if I'm missing something, that I would trust my teammates or like my partner, like with that, right? So I wouldn't be power happy with it. I wouldn't even require to be the person who makes the final decision. I would just like to be part of the process, because I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to build something, trying to change a culture, and my voice I felt would be important, but it doesn't have to be the only voice. And I think that's what you need. You need partnerships. You need a head coach. You need your star player, your head coach, your front office, and your owner are really kind of on the same page as far as what your objectives and goals are. If you have that, you can figure it out, because if someone's wrong, no one's hating on you because you're working on it together. And if someone's right, everyone's happy because you're working on it together. So that's the type of way I do things. That's the way I've always managed the companies that I've worked for. That's how I've always just been. That's how, like, even with the teams that I coached, if I had one of my players come off and they spotted something I didn't see and they pointed it out and I computed it in my head and had a lineup that could make it work, I would listen to them. And I think that's important. Trust building with it, but not power. Like, power is dangerous. I guess just influence and being able to have a say would be more important to me. But I appreciate the question. Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So many coaches miss opportunities for head coaching jobs. Just look at Sam Cassell, keeps getting passed up, but the whole league wants him as an assistant. Yeah. Again, I don't know why. Maybe there's a reason. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll hear. I just don't know. I ain't winning the lottery. I already got lucky. Facts. Already got lucky. Facts. You know what, man? I've won the lotto so many times in life. Not talking a lotto money wise. I'm so rich just in general. Family, wife, loved ones, friends, career. I've won the lottery 10 times already. You feel me? I've been able to, do a lot of great things in my life, achieve a lot of great things in my life, help others achieve a lot of great things in life, achieve things that made people who helped me feel proud, give back as much as I've gotten. And when in life you come across a couple of bumps in the road, people that want to see you fail, people that smile in your face but try to derail you, that's all part of the game. But outside of that, I've got a good nucleus, a good foundation, good circle around me, great family, great friends. So I've got a great community here with you guys. Like I've won the lottery so many times in life. And the best part about it, didn't have to pay tax on it. Because I'm telling you, man, I won in life in so many areas that I'm blessed. I'm blessed to the point that I would choose that lottery over the actual financial lottery, because sometimes you can win the financial lottery and you don't have all those other things I mentioned. And I do well for myself. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm comfortable. I'm great financially. So I feel like those other things are more important. And it's a true blessing when you can actually win at those aspects in life. But you're right. I know what you meant, pun intended. I went a little deeper there, but yeah, I'm definitely lucky for sure. Jeff would buy ESPN if he wins the lottery and force all his broadcasters to read all the comments one by one. You know what? I really like. I do like doing this. Part of me at times, like, hey, man, if my channel gets big, I'm not gonna be able to read all these comments, right? But I'm trying to hold on to that as long as I can, because I know a lot of channels don't do that, and a lot of channels can't do it because they're so big, right? So I'm trying to take advantage of it at being a smaller channel to keep you guys involved more. You know what I mean? I think it's important. I like doing it. And it would be kind of cool to have like a channel that like something that's kind of big like that and be able to like really go truly back and forth to multiple people, right? It's hard to do, especially for a lot of the people that have succeeded like in this game already, much further than I have. So it's very difficult for them to do it because their channels are so big, right? They've done so many great things. They've accomplished so much. I'm still the little guy out here. So I'm able to do it. I'm sure a lot of those guys would do it, you know what I mean? And they like doing it. It's just their channels are just so busy and it's so big. How's John Collins on defense? I heard he saw, I've seen stretches, man, because he's athletic. Like he's got explosiveness. It's just, I think if you get him in the right system, playing with the right guys, Like having someone like Anthony Davis to have his back with his aggression, his hit, and his athleticism, I could see something there, right? He's way more faster than a Rui. He's more lighter on his feet than a Rui. But like it's just the right system with the right type of players. I think he could be much better. I really do. Craig says that coaching staff of Vogel, Jason Kidd, Dudley, Rondo, and Braun was a legit collection of great minds. And Lionel Hollins, man, don't forget about him. They were, and they just have not had a coaching staff to anywhere rival that at all, man. Magic would have done better than Rob, in my opinion. Well, Magic wasn't the day-to-day guy. Magic was the face. He'd come in, do it, but Magic wasn't the guy running the day-to-day. Magic was never going to do the day-to-day because he doesn't have to. Magic's got so many other businesses and so many other things he's focused on. He was here to try to help bring stability back to it and basically get that star, which was LeBron, and he got that done. But Magic was never going to be the long-term guy. He never will be. He's too successful. He doesn't need that job. And he said it when he left. I don't need to do this. like he's got a lot of other things to do. This is never going to be like what is. So he never was going to be that guy to do it. Dan Inspiration says, get the White back, but don't let him get your back. The White ain't coming back, man. That's funny, though. The next coach is going to stay for a minimum 45 years, mess up or not. The Lakers tired of firing head coaches and paying for them. Yeah, I hear you. Why won't they let AD play point guard? Oh, no, he's not going to play point guard, man. One, he's too big. He probably get hurt doing that, and he can't guard point guard. So, no, that's not going to happen. Hello, Crazy Thought. Soto is a Dodger next year. Oh, man, LA for life, that would be nuts. Nah, that's that boy going to get, I say north of 500. Man, I think the range is high. North of 500, south of 625. But I think he's going to get a whole bag, man. It's going to be nuts, man. I think LBJ is a better point guard than AD, but I stand fully behind AD playing power forward. That's cool. Like I said, everyone has their opinions and thoughts on it. That's what makes this game beautiful, is that you can have 10 people who see it differently. And that's cool. You know what I mean? And like in today's NBA, to me, AD is a 5 in today's NBA. A lot of guys who played a 5 are former 4s, or in even 5-7 years ago would be 4s. But in today's NBA and with Braun on the team, I know you can put guys wherever you want to offensively, but when it comes to defensively, Braun's going to be guarding 4s. And so AD in today's league on this team with Braun, he is 10 times out of 10 going to be a 5. Shan says, what's funny is the Suns came fairly close. CB turnover and that book turnover in game 4. And 5 killed it for them. If they would have secured it, they low-key could have won in 5. Monty and Ayton, though, make it hard. Yeah, and CP3 is always going to do something in the series to kill it. Always. Just 10 out of 10. Media say Lakers head coach is not desirable, but can't stop talking about it. Yeah, well, because it sells clicks, man. I don't like it when Ham would coach fairly well in certain must-win games when Lakers back against the wall. We call good timeouts, making game adjustments, except the rest of the year, hot pockets. Yeah, no. I would say that more often than not, he underperformed. But there were times where you would see it. Like there were times when you would see something. And there were stretches. There was a stretch where he was actually doing things better and just, you know, I don't have all the answers for it other than it just got very toxic. There's probably a high level of frustration. And there were moments where he did some things where I'm like, okay, he's learning. And then like Pelinka, when he did something good, he turned around and go on a 5-game stretch where it was just brutal. And it made it to where it's like, okay, it just can't continue. It's not going to work, man. It's a dumpster fire at this point. I mean, I know he's big. He's very big. I don't know much out of that. I've seen some highlights of him, but I watched the national championship game. He didn't have a great second half. He's a very big guy. And, you know, if he could be worked with and then brought in something, I think that he's someone that could have a decent career. Not saying star, but I think he could play for a while. Jeff, would you agree the NBA needs coaches should earn as much as superstar max players? That's going to be hard because coaches ain't bringing no money in. People, ain't no one coming to watch a coach. So the market share just isn't there for it. So no, I'm going to say no to that. And this is a former coach saying that. This is not going to happen. Try to be rich in life and experience because that money will come if I follow my purpose to help people grow. Facts, Fabio. Like I'm telling you, like look, I've never had a problem making money. Never had a problem finding and making money. Never had a problem building things from the ground by myself and making money. Like never had that problem. And there's a lot of people who don't have that problem. There's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people that don't. But there's also a lot of people who can make all the money in the world, but they can't fill themselves. They can't fill around themselves with the other things that matter in life. And it's very, very hard to pull off both. So I'm extremely blessed to be able to have a very comfortable life financially, and also be able to have the circle and the people around me and the life that I want. You know what I mean? It's very, it didn't come easy, and it wasn't like it didn't take sacrifices. And I definitely put that work in. You know what I mean? That there was no cutting corners, cheating the game, being lazy, complaining, none of that stuff, man. Just put the head down, got to work. You know what I mean? Just did my thing, man. Worked hard, and it paid off. So to do the same thing, and it will, man. Like I said, I've always got this thing, man. I'm saying there's always ways to get money. There's always ways to get money. It's just a matter of, like, do you have the right foundation? Then once you get it, that you can actually enjoy it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. What's going on, Chow Lee? Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Would you make move for Collins or Sexton? Would I? I mean, if there was nothing else, I'd consider it, but that wouldn't be like my top 2 or 3 choices. Honestly, feel like these vet coaches ain't it anymore. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's passed by, man. John Collins got chicken legs, though. He could fly, though, man. He do got chicken legs, though. My homie told me if the Suns really need a point guard, they can get CP and Westbrook as a starter and backup point guard. CP opts out of that deal. Well, he doesn't have an opt-out. The Warriors would have to non-guarantee his deal. There's still a chance they trade him somewhere, and then a team non-guarantees his deal, or gets out from a long-term contract and just keeps him for that year. So we'll see what happens with it. Maybe that happens. I don't think that solves their problems defensively with CP over there, right? But Russ is an interesting one. If he doesn't stay with the Clips, I was hearing that, Miami is going to have strong interest in him, and maybe Phoenix. Maybe he wants to team back up with Durant and kind of put a bow on that. But I'll come first circle with that. But we'll see. Why did LA bring back the majority of the bubble ring rush? Did you meant to say didn't or did? Because they did bring it back in 2021. Then a lot of them got hurt, and then instead of just realizing that it was just a bubble tax because you started the season 2 months after you ended it, those guys fell apart. Instead of just being realistic about that and being patient, they blew it up that season, and they just weren't ever really able to recover from that. Just remember Wood guarding KD, locking him up late game early in the season, then got an inconsistent role the rest of the season. Yeah, Savage. So that was it. There was a couple of times where him and AD, maybe they had the 3 big lineup out there, and it worked. The problem is they gave him a couple chances, and he just kept dropping donuts. So that Houston game when AD sat, they started Christian Wood. He had 0 points on 0 of 1 shooting. He had a week where he disappeared. He was getting the minutes. He just fell out of it. He just wasn't performing. He had a lot of off the court issues that came to light later. And he was given opportunities to start the season. He just didn't. Once he fell off the cliff, it was over. And then he got hurt. Why did they not? Yeah, so I explained that. What am I saying here? What's up with Jimmy Butler? Bro says 22 looks good in gold. You trying to be a Laker or just want to get some? He just trolling, man. Jimmy being Jimmy. You think KD can go back to OKC? I think he can. I don't necessarily think he will, but maybe they got a ton of picks. They got money that can absorb it. Maybe, but that's a big maybe. You would cry tears of joy. Oh my God, another guy who never plays and is always injured and high money. That'd be kind of scary though, man. I like Jimmy, but man, I don't know, man. Wood is a 4 out of 5. That's why the lineup with him and AD worked in my opinion. Yes. Okay. See, so that's but he was that lengthy 4 who could help on someone like a KD to trap him, make it hard for him to see over the double team. But if you go up against someone like a Joker, then that Christian Wood is not really that guy. You need that bruising big to help there. He's a good change of pace. Him and AD to guard the length. He'll be able to guard like a team like the Clippers, the Suns. Sorry guys, I got hiccups out of nowhere. The guys with some length. That was a great thing. That was a great spot to put him in. And he was impressing early on in the season with his defense. And then it just, like I said, something happened and he just kind of fell off from there. But in the meantime, I appreciate y'all here, man. We got 70 people in the building on YouTube, man. We got 45 likes on the video. Please drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. And like I said, subscribe to the channel if you have also not done so already. Like I said previously, about 30% of the people here on a nightly basis have not subscribed to the channel. So we greatly appreciate it if you did so. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter watching, over 90 people in the building on Twitter right now. So make sure to like the post, retweet the post. And if you're on YouTube, share this to your socials, get it out there, help grow the channel. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight. I'm going to get ready to shut it down. We've been going on about 2 hours here, 2 hours and 15 minutes now. So I greatly appreciate it. But before I go, I want to make one more announcement here. I'd remind y'all that we got EPJ Sports Night coming very, very soon. Any night now. EPJ Sports Night, man. That sports talk radio show vibes with call-ins, kind of meets like Sports Centers, bringing people on with different segments covering different sports and stuff. So EPJ Sports Night coming very, very soon. We'll be taking call-ins on that show. We'll be having some people come on as guests, not a panel, but someone for a quick hitting segment, and then go from there. But I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. I got a couple different segments I'm going to be adding to the channel in the coming weeks. This is the first one. I've already announced this one, and literally dropping any day now. And I will be taking call-ins. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to launch it. But on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Y'all can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Shout out to you guys, man. Y'all have a good rest of your night, safe rest of your night. Have a great Wednesday. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Dodgers kicked ass tonight. Hope they do again tomorrow. We got NBA Finals Game 3 tomorrow night. So hopefully Dallas can pull that off and make that a series. But again, I greatly appreciate y'all. I thank you guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Y'all be safe. Thank you.